welcome to Bitstorm, a comedy game design podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy nor game design. I'm Trevor Scott, and with me, as always, is the wonderful Ben Slinger.
Better call me the lovely.
Yes,
lovely and especially attractive tonight, Ben Slinger, because
the lovely and delightful
sweat is
Ben
slicking
Slinger.
back his flowing locks, and you just can't. It's just irresistible. Hi, welcome to the show, everybody. In my strange, erotic descriptions of myself. If you're just joining us, it's a regular feature of this podcast. No, it's not.
If you are a long-time listener, you'll know that's complete bullshit.
So I think this week we will kick off, as we have the last few weeks, by digging deep into our nostalgia vaults and pulling out some games from our childhood and reimagining them in a modern standpoint. What would happen if there was a sequel or a reboot made today? So, Trevor, would you like to start us off?
The year is 19-something, because I can't remember when this game actually came out.
I thought it was one of those things where they started off, it's 19XX, and the Robin Hoods are, I don't know. Go on.
So, this game is by a company, well, a group of developers called the Bitmap Brothers.
I remember those folks.
Yes. So they did a couple of different games, but the first one I'm gonna focus on is a game called Magic Pockets.
Okay. I do not recall that one.
Yeah. So it was definitely on the PC. It was also on the Amiga. It was a side-scrollery sort of thing, but it doesn't matter. All I'm going from is the name Magic Pockets.
Okay, so you don't actually want us to so you don't want me to look up what this game is about?
Oh, you can if you want, but
I have.
No, I like the idea that
they
you
had
sort
a
of
very
take.
distinctive color palette, the Bitmap Brothers.
They really did.
It looks like a Bitmap Brothers game. That's interesting. Did they do the Blues Brothers game? Because I played a lot of that. I feel like it's that same style. Anyway, does not matter. Magic Pockets. So we're just going to use that as a prompt.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, the places we could go.
Yes. So I see this as it's a game where kind of like if you can imagine like a Green Lantern-esque game in that
Okay.
whenever you need it, your pockets contain what you need.
Your pockets provide.
Your pockets provide. Sometimes in ways that you don't quite understand. The reason why I'm sort of going in this direction is because my son's been watching a few of those shows that they get like three things, and then they've got those three things they can use in the adventure, sort of like the Mickey's Playhouse and that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, okay, I haven't seen that one. Is he been watching True and the Magic Kingdom?
Yeah, that too.
My kids love that show. Okay, so you're saying you've got a limited number of pulls?
Yeah, and I'm thinking that it's in sort of chapters. So in each chapter you get like 3 or 4 different items. And, they're predetermined items, but, they're somewhat random. And effectively, I'm thinking this character has to solve a small mystery, but they've got three insane items that, somehow they're going to solve this puzzle with.
Okay, so is it like an adventure game?
Yeah.
Yeah, are you thinking like inventory puzzle, basically, except your inventory consists solely of these 3 or 4 strange items that don't seem to fit anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so how does this character, or how does the player then guide this character? Like, are you going around talking to people to sort of figure out what's happened in this chapter, and basically through our amazing writing, it slowly becomes clear what each item is for?
Yeah, I think where it can actually start off is I'm liking the idea that you're playing this kid detective.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm picturing a kid who's always like chewing bubblegum and blowing bubbles and all this sort of stuff.
Right, so like he's got some attitude.
Mm-hmm. Does he
have a slingshot in his back pocket? Or no, he's got a magnifying glass.
Yeah, I'm thinking magnifying glass, but surprisingly, not for burning ants.
For finding clues.
Yes. So I think that in this world, they are a really good detective. So much so that everyone comes to them with their problems to try and get them solved.
So it's a bit of a Sherlock Holmes-ish sort of thing in that, you've got the case, like this chapter is this particular case.
Yes.
So from the beginning, does this kid know he's got magic pockets? Or is this a new thing? Or is this why he's such a good detective? Because he basically has pants that serve as deus ex machina. Yeah. And give him the appropriate item at the right time.
I think the first chapter, it opens up with like a typical noir sort of, they are, talking over a scene.
I just poured myself an apple juice. I'd had a hard night. That's when the door opened and she came slamming in. So she slammed the door open and came walking in.
It's been 12 months since my mum gave me these pants. What I didn't realize at the time is that they had magic pockets.
And that's when the title scene, like goes away in a puff of smoke.
Oh, it just zooms through it, I think. It's just slowly zooming into him sort of sitting down at his desk.
It's like a little toy desk. Pretend phone on it.
It's got like
Can he
Lego
be like
pieces
an
on it and all that sort of
8-year-old?
stuff.
Like, I'm thinking kind of youngish.
Yeah.
Yeah, like not a teen.
I wasn't thinking 12 or 13. I was thinking,
7 or 8 kind
8.
of thing. Yeah.
Can barely write their own name. And,
yeah.
they're solving crimes. But I'm picturing some of the crimes that they're solving, like in some of the later chapters, are so not suitable for kids to be involved with.
The police chief came into my room. My mum didn't know what was going on, but he said there's been a murder and they can't solve it. He had blood all over him. Okay.
The first thing that he pulls out is like, one of those spray bottles with the blood.
Oh, like luminol.
Yeah, luminol.
Let's see what my pockets provide me this week. Luminol. That's like before the police chief season coming. It's like, this one's going to be a tough one.
It's like it just comes out with like a field kit. It's like, oh, come on.
The third thing he pulls out, it's the murder weapon. He did it. His pockets did it. It was the pockets. These pants have been going out without me at night, killing people.
So I think what needs to happen in about the middle chapter is that you find out that you're not the only person that has you're not the only person who has magic pockets, but there's like a Moriarty out there who also has magic pockets.
Can it be? So I'm obviously for the main character, he's just got a pair of jeans or something. I'd like it to be a different sort of pocket, maybe a shirt pocket, so he can only pull out like smaller things,
or it's an inside jacket pocket.
It's a pocket pussy.
Okay, yep. Clicking again.
No, keep going. Just pretend I didn't say that. I just couldn't resist. I don't know. I don't want to know what he'd pull out of it. Because that's not appropriate. But presumably this Moriarty is a child as well. Or otherwise we're going in a really strange direction. His like arch nemesis is this 50-year-old man.
I was thinking geriatric.
Oh, so it's maybe like a Dennis the Menace sort of deal where the...
No, I now picture that you've got like this older sort of character, not super old, but like getting into their early 20s, that sort of stuff. They've got a pocket protector, and for some reason, just behind the pocket protector, they can pull out like clues or tools, and that's their magic pockets. Theirs is a little bit more sophisticated, though. They can pull out, I'm thinking, four tools to help them.
Okay, but do they all have to be sort of related to that pocket? Like, is it mostly pens and like mints, occasionally some money?
So now I'm just wondering,
A
is your
note.
arch nemesis Encyclopedia Brown?
Sure. I don't know much about Encyclopedia Brown. Is it like grown up Encyclopedia Brown? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, that's
Because
what
he
I was
was
going with.
he was already a young detective, right?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, okay.
But he's just older now.
All right. Yeah, I like that. So it's like 21-year-old Encyclopedia Brown, and he's sort of over his peak. He's past his peak now. Nobody cares. Nobody's coming to him for mysteries anymore because the younger kids with bigger pockets.
Yeah. And no, I really like the idea of having different mysteries that you solve.
Yeah. I think that could be good. I like the idea of a sort of serial adventure game like that. And I mean, the Sherlock Holmes games do it okay, but obviously, taking that and troping it up with subverting some tropes with the noir stuff and turning them all into kid jokes. Yeah, that's cool.
Cool.
All right,
tell me your game.
I've got a couple, and they're both space games in very different ways. I don't think we've done either of them. And I'm trying to decide. Well, how about I tell you them both, and you can decide which one you'd rather do.
Okay.
And I didn't prepare these particularly. I literally just went through lists of 90s games 20 minutes ago and picked on a few that could be interesting. And they both happen to be space games. So the first one is the Wing Commander series. And I'm not sure if we've done something on that before or not, but
Don't think so.
just that general idea of sort of a narrative space game like that, cockpit, dogfighter. And the other one is Star Control, which was a much more, particularly the first one was a much more arcadey kind of shooter. But there was sort of just like elements of populating the universe and such. I seem to recall.
Cool.
So do you have preferences on those?
Cool. Do I have a preference? I remember both of them pretty well. Mm-hmm. I think we'll go Star Control.
Okay. Let's do that.
Which is kind of a bit funny because there are some games at the moment who are trying to say that they are the new Star Control.
Oh yeah, I don't think I've seen those. Who's saying that? Who dares?
Oh, who dares to say that they're going to be that good? I'm trying to remember. There was a famous one on Kickstarter a while ago, and
well, I haven't seen them yet, so keep trying.
Yeah. So
yeah, from what I recall,
I'm happy with either.
Well, let's do Star Control. That's fine. It was well, the way I played it mostly was, I think, just the melee mode, where you basically just
that's what I played most of the time.
Fighting against each other in a sort of. So yeah, it was sort of it was 2-dimensional. It was on a 2-dimensional plane, and you had a fair number of ships that you could choose from, and they all had very different abilities.
Yeah, I remember choosing like a longish sort of thin one a lot of the time.
Yeah, well, I'm just looking at it now, and I remember playing as the Urquan a lot, which was just a big, slow-moving ship, but it had a big blaster that could do a lot of damage.
Cool. Yeah, I think you know what would be cool in nowadays sort of thing is to have almost like a multiplayer, not thinking turn-based, but that sort of almost the tactical sort of movement that you got to make in like a 3D space, in that you're trying to fight each other in a melee mode. I'm sort of seeing that as something that hasn't really been done.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think sometimes the Star Trek games try to go in that direction. Because it's a bit more tactical, but yeah, we could consider that, especially with the different, the really different abilities of the different ships. That could be quite interesting. So, are you thinking turn-based? And I mean, that's taking Star Control in a very different direction, but that's not to say we shouldn't.
I'm actually thinking no. It'll still be sort of based off of like real time movements.
But the way to win is to really position yourself. I mean, that's not too unlike.
And pretty much what you're doing is you're actually sort of going, okay, I want to fire when this happens, and then I want to do this when this happens, and sort of
you
like
mean
the
you're
way
sort
that you
of
can
actually setting up like triggers and things?
yeah.
Okay.
I think the idea of being able to set up triggers in your own screen is a little bit less arcadey.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
a little bit more tactical, but it's also you're almost in complete control of your movement all the time, and you can actually go around and just hit the spacebar to fire, but you can also set up a trigger that if they happen to meet some criteria, you can maybe set up a countermeasure for when they fire off a
particular type of. Well, I like the idea of
particular type of like plasma rocket or something like that.
Yeah, well, it'd be really interesting to be able to set up those triggers, and have it being very systems based, and so that you have to counter whichever particular type of ship you're coming up against, because you need to know then. They have a plasma weapon, or they have a laser weapon, or they have like a ballistic weapon or something, and be able to say like, if something of with a mass larger than this or between this comes into these sensors, and again, your sensors can depend on the types of ships. Then trigger off this action, whether it's do some sort of area effect or fire off like an anti. What do you call it? Like a diversionary thing, or just fire at it. If you've got turrets or something,
or launch me into hyperspace instantly.
Well, yeah, if you recall, one of the ships in the original Star Control would just teleport randomly somewhere else on the map. You could say, all right, fire that off, and that that's not always going to be to your benefit.
Yeah.
And I think I recall one of the things in the original as well was that some levels had a star. That you could get sucked into the gravity well if your ship wasn't fast enough.
Ooh, I like that.
In fact, I think I remember that being a bit of a strategy, but with that little teleporty ship, because it was quite light and could sit really close to the star. And so you'd lure someone in and they'd just teleport away, and they wouldn't be able to get out of the gravity well. But no, actually, I quite like that because then you could have different ships, like the types and power of your sensors will play a big part in how much automation you can do. So you might have a ship that has less weapons, but it has much longer range or more accurate sensors, and so you can react a lot faster to different things.
Yeah, it may actually say, okay, because of this system, it gives you 3 automation options. So you can set these automation options. But of course, being from another ship, you can maybe fire off 3 different types of missiles because you know that one of them is going to hit.
Well, that's it. Yeah, like again, your sensors have to be calibrated to a particular type, like a particular missile type or energy type or whatever. And so you can use 2 of those. Like if you want to use 2 of your sort of resources, your automation resources, on detecting 2 types of missiles, because you know that you might come across those, then that's fine. But your back sensors aren't doing anything then, or you're leaving other parts of yourself open, or you might come across someone who's got all 3 types or something. Yeah, there's some really cool stuff you could do there. And so you're thinking then that I think the gameplay would have to be a bit slower paced than the original. Just in that to really notice even that those things are happening, it'd be too fast. The original was very arcade-ish and fairly Twitch-based.
Yeah.
The other thing I just recalled, though, actually, is there was this real aspect of, or maybe this was just some ships that could do this, but you had your crew, and I remember some ships could like pick up the crew of the other people or something, or there was something like that anyway. Like basically your health was how much crew you had. And so there could be some interesting things around that as well, where you can maybe like, I don't know, teleport your crew into their crew into outer space or something and pick them up, or and again, it could be around the automation stuff that you can detect crew members and cruise ships and stuff as well.
Yep.
Yeah, this could be another little.
That's really cool.
Another little aspect.
Really, really cool.
Cool. All right, you've got another?
Yes.
All right. Sock it to me.
So this game was a fighting game. It was done probably in the early 90s. It was called One Must Fall 2097.
I was going to guess that because there were very few fighting games on the PC.
Yeah. I loved One Must Fall. It was these giant robots basically fighting off against each other.
I'm trying to recall if I ever had the full version or just the version where you had one, maybe two characters.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had the version that had like one or two characters.
Yeah.
But the idea of like a fighting game with two massive robots.
Yeah,
going up
that's
against each
obviously
other, Street Fighter or...
Yeah, that's something that you could do much more interestingly now. I just had an amusing thought that you could do a sequel to Regular Human Basketball, but it's like a boxing game.
Regular Human Boxing.
Regular Human Boxing. Powerhoof,
I
listening.
absolutely love that.
Because, like, part of the benefit of doing robots is that there is that sort of thing. Like, presumably there's someone piloting them. You've got kind of a different aspect to just, like, Street Fighter where it's just two people pummeling on each other and for some reason have magic. But you could do something quite interesting with and look, it doesn't have to be that style thing, but we could go in that direction where you're jumping around inside the ship hitting buttons and it's doing things like firing off, ranged attacks or doing punches and kicks and uppercuts and, maybe depending on there's just a regular punch button, but depending on your stance or something, like if you crouch and then go to punch, then it'll do an uppercut kind of thing.
Yeah, that's cool.
And you could, again, very much Regular Human Basketball, 2 to 4 people in each robot perhaps, and having to coordinate those moves and getting some just totally ridiculous shit going on.
So what I like though is stealing something from Mortal Kombat, in that when you do bring someone down to 0, you do actually get a little bit of time to set up a finishing move with your guys inside the robot.
Oh god, so you could have everyone on the right buttons.
Except, like, literally everyone from the other robot, because that one's now dead. They come over and try to sabotage you as you're trying to do your finishing move.
Yeah, that's an interesting aspect. Bringing in that whole jumping ship thing to be able to sabotage the other player. And again, something that Regular Human Basketball did very well. I basically just want Regular Human Basketball, the fighting game. So,
yeah. But
please,
I don't mind it going in that direction because that was such an awesome game.
Oh god, it was amazing. Yeah, I just don't think if there's anything different we can do with it. I mean, I guess you could have different characters. It's sort of just expanding on it in a bunch of different ways. Different characters that have different controls in them and stuff, so different layouts. So you sort of, you might get good at a particular character because you learn some decent moves that you can easily sort of jump between the buttons. Whereas it might be a bit
what I
trickier
love
on some others.
is the idea of there actually being, if you turn on the switches in a certain order, like down, forward, punch, then you actually get
firing off the special moves. Yeah.
So the idea that, if you've got 2 people, having to run between different things to hit those buttons can be pretty,
well, it's just another
nuts.
level of having to communicate, right?
Yeah.
It's like, all right, I'm going to hit down, you hit left,
forward.
and then I'm going to hit the attack button over here.
Oh, you hit a kick button. That's the wrong one.
Your whole robot just flips up into the air.
And then I like the idea of, the jump is literally the jump jet sort of thing, except this time, you don't actually have, continuous jump jets. You only have sort of like...
Oh, I like the idea of it being a burst, that it just fires for a second and then turns off. But it's obviously physically accurate, so if you've just kicked... If you're in the middle of a kick and someone accidentally hits the burst button, you go flying backwards because your foot's facing forward, like it's in your feet. Because I'm thinking of them being a bit
I'm now
more
picturing
kind of
that if you lean forwards, and hit the boost button, then you're going to do like a Raiden bloody shoulder charge sort of thing.
Yeah. Oh, I want to talk to Powerhoof again and see like the prototypes they must have done for different body shapes and different types of controls and stuff. I feel like there's some really cool stuff you can do with that.
Well, we had a pretty good rapport with them last time, so I'm pretty sure they'd be interested in talking to us again.
Yeah.
Okay, well...
All right, let's move on.
That was fun.
Yeah, I think there was some good stuff in there. Now I kind of want to play Star Control and also Regular Human Basketball. Ooh, that could be a good
Yeah, that
mix
was so
too.
much fun. Ooh.
Yeah.
Damn it.
You thinking of
My
that?
mind just went to having to control like the little guys inside the ship to actually set off these.
Yeah.
firing. Oh God.
Well, and I was just thinking of again, like, and I mean, this is sort of similar to Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time in that was a spaceship, but a cross between Star Control and FTL and regular human basketball, where you have your ship and you can see all the people inside it, but they're all played by different people, and you have to jump to the different controls, and you can still jump between ships, but you literally have to
got EVA between them.
you can either EVA between them, or you can just blast yourself out an airlock and aim for them and hope that you just like smash through their windscreen or something.
Oh God, I love it. Mm-hmm. Or even teleport, like if you unlock the teleporting.
Oh
ability.
yeah, totally.
Beam onto their ship once you take out their shields and stuff. Oh God. Okay, got to move on.
Right.
But I love that idea so
That's
much.
really cool. All right.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, click.
Well, tell everyone how
We
this
should probably
works.
tell people what click pitch is.
Sure, we've done it for
104
how many
episodes
years now?
Okay, so click pitch, for those who may not have listened before, is a game where we each have a random word generator, or in this case a phrase generator, in front of us. And on the count of 3, 2, 1, click, we will click refresh. We'll each get a couple of words, and we will turn those words into a game design. So Trevor, would you like to start us off?
3, 2, 1, click. Strenuous oration.
Okay. Melted garter. Okay. Strenuous oration. So like a speech or any sort of speaking kind of thing. Melted garter. So garters... garters can be used to hold up stockings or socks.
This is going to be really kind of hard for me because all I can see in my brain is that game that we played at PAX.
What? Which one?
The one where you had to control like the robot that was trying to be a regular human and control the tongue.
Oh, God. Because of the oration.
Yeah, because of oration. And then I was thinking melted garter, and I was thinking how melted the face can look and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, I digress. So I'm trying to think, when was the most strenuous time that I had to speak?
Yeah, look, I'm thinking of like a class presentation or something, or a pitch meeting, or something that's high
stakes, pretty much.
Just public speaking, yeah. And then for some reason your garter's melting, and so your socks fall down. So why does that have anything to do with anything?
By garter, I was sort of thinking, okay, this is the best man speech at a wedding.
Okay. What sort of gameplay are we talking here?
Okay, so I'm thinking this is...
Okay, you go, but I have a thought.
So I'm thinking the reason why it's so strenuous is because you, as the best man, hate public speaking.
Yep.
So you're doing anything in your power to actually stop the speeches from happening, or at least delay them. So
Okay.
the melted garter, well, you accidentally knocked over the candle onto the bride's lap and
Oh, God.
put her dress up.
And wedding over. My thought was that you are a robot who has taken the place of the best man.
Okay, yep.
And I kind of like the idea of...
Controlling little men inside it.
No. This is...
It's a Meet Dave.
This is similar to... I mean, it could be like a Meet Dave, but I don't think you're controlling the people. I think what you're doing is looking around the room. It's almost just turns into like a weird Mad Libs thing where you're trying to sort of refresh... Like you're trying to think of something to say by looking around the room, and you get to pick things to say what comes next. Maybe you're like missing pages, and maybe you've got your speech cards, but you're missing some of the cards because when you killed the best man and stuffed him in a storage closet for whatever reason, and then proceeded to take his place.
There's just too much blood on some of the words.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. There's droops of blood on some of the words. So you have to look around the room and click on things. So it's not that, the gameplay is relatively simple, but I think that it's more about the humor that comes out of it. And maybe you can have custom sort of responses based on the things that you click on in
What I'm
different
picturing is like
places in the
Terminator
speech.
vision.
Yeah. Maybe not
Yeah,
quite
so-
that like severe, so that it's completely washed out red or whatever. But
No,
you've
but
got,
the idea
yes.
that you can pretty much pause as like your hyper fast CPU can actually look around the room and capture all these things.
Yeah, and
that
as you like focus on something, it gets the little like analyze thing, and it sort of says something about it, and you don't, maybe you
some
don't
other rhymes that it goes with and all that sort of stuff. So
maybe, yeah. Although I was going to say maybe you don't know what word is actually going to what word the robot's actually going to say. You just know, all right, use this thing as the inspiration for the word, but for some reason, maybe you're malfunctioning a bit, and so your like image scanning processing unit isn't actually connected to your voice, simulation unit. So you might want to say love because you click on a heart or something, but you get like valve or blood.
left ventricle.
Yeah, left ventricle. I know that Vanessa left ventricles Garth so much.
And Wayne, which is me.
Wait, what? Was there a Vanessa? Wasn't Vanessa the?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was completely by accident. That must have been a subconscious thing.
So in other words, you've killed Wayne.
Yeah, sure. Let's go. Why not? We'll get Mike Myers to do a robotic voice.
Oh god. 3, 2, 1, click.
No, there was no Vanessa. Just gaslit me. There was no Vanessa. Yeah, okay. 3, 2, 1, click.
Did you check both films?
I didn't. Yeah, I think we can go on to the next one, but I think that's I think that would be a fun idea.
It would be.
Just a good opportunity for some fun writing, just a sort of short form game with that very simple concept, and just coming up with all the different responses. By putting obviously not everything would have a custom response, but you could have some really good ones for particularly good fits. And I just like the idea of seeing the reaction from everyone else as you say certain things. Like you can almost gauge how well your speech is going by their faces and how they're moving, and they're like muttering to themselves and stuff. And you can really get some good gasps if you really feel in, say the wrong thing. Swing.
Swing, indeed. 3, 2, 1, click.
Watery nestling.
Reverberating seepage.
Ugh. They both sound like weird bowel diseases. Okay. My first thought, particularly with reverberating, less so with seepage, was that you play a baby whale.
Okay.
This is a story of a newborn whale. Hence, watery nestling, like you're nestling up to your mother.
Yes.
Reverberation being the communication. Seepage could be maybe there's like some sort of pollution, some sort of oil spill or
oil spill.
Yeah. So we've used all the words. Check. Let's think about where it could go. Yeah, I don't know. Like, so you could use this as a very sort of introspective kind of, serious game as such.
But what are the controls?
Good question.
Is this Echo the Whale?
I mean, yeah, there obviously are parallels there.
I kind of like the idea of Echo the Whale, though.
That could be all right. Although, now that I'm just thinking about it, I wonder if you want to go... Well, I mean, this is kind of like Echo the Whale anyway. I didn't ever play the Dreamcast Echo the Dolphin. But yeah, like around in 3D, you like meet different characters, different other animals and stuff, and sort of get a sense for what's going on and have particular things that you need to do. But it's, it's somewhat realistic in that it's not a cartoony thing. It's sort of describing things that are actually happening in the world, and you can do vaguely what a whale could actually do. But yeah, I like the idea of, coming into contact with humans, maybe like a humpback whale or something, and they often breach and see humans up there, and you can have an experience with them and dealing with other creatures under the sea. Basically, it's Echo the Whale. Yeah, I don't know if we've got anything different that we could throw at it.
Well, I'm just wondering if, it starts off sort of like Echo the Whale. In that, it's sort of like a bit of a playground sort of thing that you can sort of go around and nestle up to your mum and get some much needed whale milk, and
We
you're
all
still
need some
learning
whale
how to
milk.
swim, and that you have to go up for air every now and again, and all this sort of stuff. But then, like, later on, I can sort of see some like missions to like take out the oil platform and.
Oh,
and
you
sort of
become
stuff.
like a full-on, like guerrilla activist kind of. You're on the side of the activist humans. Maybe you learn to communicate with them. Well, we're going to take it in a different direction. Maybe you full on you join Greenpeace. The first whale to join Greenpeace.
Oh God!
All right, 3, 2, 1, click. I'm not sure we've got much more on that. Ooh. Adrift cauliflower.
Gashed apricot.
Oh, yes. We're definitely going back to Star Wars. This,
Nah, it's
but
too- it's too soon, too soon, too
But this is naval. This is a naval version. You're at sea.
Okay, I'll go with that. On one condition:
All right.
the apricot is a pirate.
Yeah. Sure.
Hence why it's got a gash
Yeah.
on its
Yeah.
on its face
On
or
its
whatever.
skin.
Yeah. What does it have for? What does it have on its shoulder for a parrot though?
I mean, it could just be like an apricot pip. It's like a skeleton. That's like the skeleton of an apricot, or maybe a grape, like a grape seed.
Yeah, grapeseed, or even like
a cranberry.
pea in a pod.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That could be kind of cool. Mm-hmm. A pea in the pod. Yep, I'm picturing that.
So this maybe isn't even. It's the same word. It's the same universe. But this is less about root vegetables versus leafy vegetables,
Yep.
and this is more about like sort of a different aspect of the world that is mostly
Maybe
It's
this
mostly
is
above the-
years and years and years before the war.
sure. Yeah. Okay. We do a prequel. We go
So
back in
there's
time.
no technology. It's like think about pirate times in the
it's like
1800s,
or
or 1700s,
early, like the
or whatever.
16, 1700s or something. Yeah. Okay.
So
I like
no
that. That's
technology,
cool.
and it's sea battles and shit.
Yeah. But with fruits and vegetables. Well,
Nice.
and maybe other food. We haven't gone into some of the other food groups. Where does like bread come into it?
Bread's not sentient.
Oh, they just eat
Wheat
it.
is.
Wheat is, but when it gets turned into bread, it dies.
Yes.
Basically,
It's ground.
bread is the ground up corpse of wheat. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What about flowers and things though, like other plants, vines?
Yeah, I think all plants
dandelions.
all plants are they're sentient.
Well, wait, are they though? Because, and maybe we're going to, maybe I'm going too deep into this. But like fruit is sort of the offspring of a plant in a way, whereas vegetables are sort of the plant themselves. Let's not go into it.
No,
All
that's
right.
not. Because then you start going into like pollen and shit.
Oh yeah, well that's just jizz.
God.
All right, so the pirates. So we've got an apricot.
I'm wondering if you've just said the title of this episode.
I don't think we can use "That's Just Jizz" as the title of the episode. iTunes won't put it up. Podchaser will. We don't care. All right, so I like
That's
the idea.
just
Then,
jizz.
so let's go into this. Adrift cauliflower. So you've got someone who has like survived a ship sinking, right, or perhaps even a pirate attack,
Yeah.
and they're on a raft. They're a cauliflower.
On a raft, just before they're dying, they're not able to, they've used the last of their soil
Yeah, the
supplies.
tips of their florets are going black. They're
and
drying out.
then this pirate,
Yeah.
this gashed apricot captain, comes across the raft,
Black Pit.
saves him. Huh?
They call him Black Pit because his pit,
Black Pit.
is as black as pit, as tar as his soul.
Black hole pit. It's as dark as a black hole.
They don't know about black holes. It's the 1600s.
No, that's true. So anyway,
Yeah. He gets picked up by this pirate.
He gets picked up by this pirate.
Pirate crew.
gets sort of taken on as a ward, sort of thing.
Yeah, I think it's one of these things where he's held prisoner for a while, but they realize he's no threat and sort of get to know him a bit and
acclimatize him to the thing, and they're going off on this massive treasure hunt.
Yeah, yeah.
So basically, I'm thinking it's sort of cross between Treasure Island and sort of Pirates of the Caribbean.
They're searching for the mystical mushroom tribe and their treasure.
Okay.
Their city of gold. No, they don't care about gold.
No.
What's a
city of soil?
City of soil. City of pure, uncut soil. Worm shit. They breed worms. They have millions of worms. Just
what I'm loving is that they go to this place and like there's this cult of mushrooms that actually worship these massive worms. I'm thinking they come in, eat up all the compost instantly and shit out
pure
perfect
soil. She's their lifeblood. Yeah, totally.
And that's when, you know, the cauliflower realizes what his food actually is. It's worm shit.
Never thought about it before. They all must know. They all must have some idea. They just don't like to talk about it. Soil and dirt is worm shit. It's worm shit.
Yeah, where do you think it came from?
Did your parents ever tell you?
I never thought about it that much.
I thought they just made it with their hands.
And water.
I like the idea, though, of mushrooms as kind of, you know, the mystical hippies.
Oh, you know what it could actually be?
Because they've got spores. Like, spores are basically drugs.
So what I was actually just thinking is what the cauliflower now realizes is that on this island, he finally sees the compost heap. And there's just heaps and heaps of, like, cauliflowers. And,
oh, God, dead. Yeah.
Dead cauliflowers,
dead
lettuces,
fruit and vegetables.
cabbages, all on this pit, and the worm comes through and eats and then shits out this amazing soil. And he goes, soil and green is...
It really is. It's true. It's people. That's where it comes from. It's just worms eating their corpses, shitting out their food.
God.
That's really fucking gross when you think about it.
It is like full on cannibalistic. That's kind of awesome.
All right. Well,
I never realized that before. 3 to 1 click.
I do like that. Yeah, I like that return to the world of Star Wars, but I think that's all we can take for right now. 3 to 1 click.
Hulking brainstorming.
Oh, that's interesting. Weighty golfer.
So I'm picturing, I don't know why, but this just came into my head, that it's in an alternate world where Bruce Banner is like a lazy golfer and the Hulk is like the scientist.
Well, I was literally just going down the path of let's just make Avengers golf. It's like just a golf game starring the Avengers. There's not enough novelty golf games.
Not since Outlaw Golf.
Yeah, exactly. And that was fucking
Golf
original Xbox generations ago. I think you could do a good Avengers golf. Let's have a think about how that would go down. And I mean, Hulk obviously just well, maybe it is Bruce Banner who's the golfer. But if you mess up too many shots, then he hulks out, and then you're just fucked. Then you might get a hole in one, but it'll be like 9 holes over.
If he doesn't crush the stick first.
Yeah, totally. No, I don't know.
Okay, so what sort of golfing abilities will everyone have?
I mean, I'm more interested in their outfits, to be honest. No, I don't know. I'm not good at fashion. Although I do like the idea of the Hulk in some like plaid shorts instead of his purple ones.
Purple plaid
and the golf
shorts.
and the golf hat.
Oh God,
Hulk golf.
Hulk putt.
God, Hulk can't putt. Hulk could put a hole in fucking Captain America.
Okay, so I think we'll go with my idea.
All right, so this is an alternate universe. Is it a world full of Hulks, of Hulk-like creatures? And this when this person When the Hulk like calms down too much, he turns into a weedy little human.
I think what it actually is in this reality, Bruce Banner was a scientist, but he was just like so lazy and procrastinated all the time.
Well,
and
I think what happened is he found weed. He just liked to get stoned and play golf. It's a weird combination, but he was into it.
But when he smoked too much, then he turned into the ultra brainy Hulk.
Well, I love the idea that his dealer's like, oh, yeah, man. Like, you got to try this new stuff. They call it the gamma strain. It's gonna mutate your DNA, literally. And Bruce Banner's just like, oh, that sounds amazing. He's like, no, literally. Like, yeah, I got it. I can handle it.
Yeah, just don't smoke it near
a microwave,
gamma radiation, microwave, or a golf course.
Yeah. Little known fact. The golf green, the way they make it green, is gamma radiation.
So yeah, I'm picturing that it's half golf game, half like solving equations as the Hulk.
I just amused that the gameplay is just the Hulk going, Hulk, not sure what 1 + 1 is.
No, I'm picturing.
No, he's like super smart.
Hulk doing like in the same sort of parlance, saying, "Ooh, A² plus B²."
Or maybe
equals.
it's the opposite. Maybe Hulk. Maybe it's the opposite in this world. Banner is so stoned all the time that he's like, Banner hungry. Banner want to golf. And then he turns into Hulk. He's just like, oh, that fucking Banner. All right, so if you carry the 1 and take the third thing to the 5th footer, spin the matrix.
Banner Putt.
Banner Putt. It's like, oh, shit. So when does he turn into Banner? Is it if he like gets a whiff of weed or something, or sees a golf course, like, or is it just? Is it still around his emotions?
Yeah, I think it's around emotions. If he gets too frustrated at a problem, he turns into Banner so he can calm down with some
right.
weed.
Yeah, that's his like. It's his like protection from his he's from burning himself out. He's like, oh, I can't get this. Oh no, not now. I'm so close to Banner Pot. Banner smoke. I'm totally picturing Mark Ruffalo as well. He should do that pretty well.
I'm so picturing that is now the title of the episode. Banner Putt.
Banner Putt. Could be.
Emergent cheering.
Lifelong centipede.
All right. So how do I not turn this into a cheer squad that is being turned into the human centipede?
Well, you've got it out now. I'll throw it away. Stop thinking about it. No, okay. I'm kind of thinking this is a world where butterflies. Stop thinking about cheerleaders eating each other's shit, Trevor.
No, this is something that I saw in a movie a little while ago, but it was basically a couple of years later. They saw each other and was like, hang on, weren't we part of a human centipede?
It was on, no. It was,
that was on Key and Peele.
Yeah. That was good. No, I'm picturing this is a world of like insects and things. Like this is the insect world, and butterflies they are like the cheerleaders. They're like the super cool. Maybe it's like a high school or something.
Mm-hmm. And the principal is a centipede.
Well, I was thinking maybe one of the other students is a centipede, and they're looking at the caterpillars and they're going, "You are just like me. You've got all these legs and you shuffle along with your belly on the ground, but you get to turn into a butterfly and I have to stay a centipede." And so it's just like the angsty teenage life of insects. Oh, fuck, centipedes are gross.
Yes, they are.
Oh, they freak me out.
Oh, yeah.
Especially those like real like hairy looking ones.
Okay, so
anyway.
You play the centipede?
I think you either play the centipede or you play someone. You play one of the other students, right?
I kind of like the idea
as a
of
character.
you play the centipede and, you think the butterfly is so cool. Like, the caterpillars who turn into butterflies are so cool. Like, they're all, with the jocks and all this sort of stuff.
Well, basically, the butterflies are seniors.
Yep.
But the freshmen are still caterpillars. And you're a freshman. And you know that you're not going to turn into a butterfly. And so you hang out with the millipedes, who are totally goth.
But he's hanging out with them because he knows that they're just so much more gross than what he is. So
I actually much prefer a millipede over a centipede. But anyway. And I don't know, does he have like a, what do you call them? Pillbugs, butchie boys, slaters. What's your word for them? Slaters. There's definitely one of those in the crew. It's kind of all the little under the rock living creatures. Are you going for a Saved by the Bell reference?
Yes. I just pictured you said Slaters. I'm just picturing this AC Slater coming down.
It could be Saved by the Bell. Who is
Zach Morris is a
who's the centipede? Is it Screech?
It could be Screech. Zach is a caterpillar.
Yeah.
Zach and Kelly are caterpillars.
Yeah, totally. And
what's her name? That when it was in Showgirls, what could she be?
I don't actually remember the characters' names, but I don't know. Maybe she's what's another kind of above ground sort of insect? Maybe she's like a fucking spider or something. Could be cool.
And who plays like Principal Belmont or whatever his
Belding.
name is?
Yeah, Belding's just like a.
What's something that's wise, like a wise moth or something like that?
Well, but he was kind of goofy as well, right? Like, he was trying to be cool all the time, wasn't he?
Yeah, true. So what's kind of goofy? A moth.
A regular old moth? Yeah, he could be an old moth, I guess. Or like a...
Leaving dust everywhere.
Like a beetle?
He's like this ladybug or something. He's tiny and annoying.
Yeah, okay, so... I think we killed it in the best way possible.
Yep.
All right.
I reckon.
Let's do one more then. Yeah.
3, 2, 1, click.
Sunlit scramble.
Sweetened rift.
Oh. Okay. This is the breakfast food side of Starch Wars. No, just kidding. Sunlit scramble. What was it?
Sweetened
rift.
So I'm thinking rift as in a rift in space and time.
Sure. What else are you going to put a rift in?
An oculus.
Took me a second. All right, a rift in space and time that happens while you're like having a nice leisurely breakfast with your scrambled eggs in the sun, and takes you into a hellscape where there are no eggs. It's the worst thing possible.
It takes you into a hellscape in which everything is just artificially sweetened. Like everything.
All right.
You go to have bacon and eggs, and it's maple bacon, and it's
sugar eggs.
I don't know, sugar eggs.
But
it's not real maple syrup either. It's cheap shit that you get from,
and it's it's like
that you get from
stevia eggs.
Oh, yeah, artificially sweetened.
Yeah, and it's like, why does this
So
water
that nasty
from the tap
aftertaste
taste like aspartame?
Oh, yuck.
How is this going to play out in game?
Okay. Every character that you come across is riddled with cancer.
Hey, that hasn't been proven. There's no evidence for that.
It's a game. It doesn't need to be proven. It's just it's an alternate universe.
It's an alternate universe where everything is artificially sweetened, and also artificial sweetener definitely causes cancer.
Yes.
So you just got all these tumor-ridden people walking around with no teeth. Well, wait, we probably wouldn't. Does it? I don't know. Does it still affect the teeth?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, so I'm picturing that the start of this game, it's sort of like how the game Another World started, or Out of This World, however you want to.
Okay. Yeah,
like, whichever version that you
just a
actually saw.
little vignette of this person eating their breakfast, their completely unsweetened breakfast. And all of a sudden, this rift opens around them and they find themselves in the exact same place until they take another bite of their eggs. And they're like, oh, this tastes like stevia.
And then, from then on, it's about how they get out of this place. And, you know, it's an educational game telling you about the horrors of artificial sweetener and the fact that every single one of these people, you know, that are having these diet sugars are, like, incredibly fat and riddled with cancer and...
I feel like this is definitely a game funded by the sugar lobby. Paid for by M such and such. Sugar lobby is
paid for by CSR Sugar.
Yeah. That's actually the name of the game because you end up having to solve crimes in CSR Sugar. Is it like CSI? It's the crime scene.
Reading education.
Oh, God. We can't end on that one. Let's do one more.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, click.
Just a quickie. The itchiest ballerina.
Pervading infancy.
Pervading infancy. All right. So it's about a ballerina. It's about Benjamin Button, the ballerina. The rest writes itself, I think. Benita Button.
Spread through and be perceived in every part of.
Pervading. Yeah. Well, I'm just basically thinking that it's this infancy is running throughout their body. They're getting younger. They've always wanted to be a ballerina ever since they were an old man or woman.
Old person. And as they get younger, they're finally get the use of their toes back, and they have a short-lived career as a ballerina until they get too short. You say short-lived career, but I'm imagining that it's around the same length of time as what a normal ballerina would
they also
would
have the Jack
have.
disease.
Oh God! Oh shit! We've got a code 3 Jack.
Code 3 Jack. Oh my God! And a code 2 Benjamin Button. This person's going to age backwards from 100 to 0 in only 25 years.
Sucks to be you. Kicks him straight into an old person's home.
Live here for about 8 years, and then you might be able to get around for a bit and be a ballerina for a few years. And sorry,
God.
Yes, then you'd be a baby.
Okay, so what's the gameplay for the ballerina?
Oh, I don't care. I think that's enough.
Okay,
I'm not going into the details on that.
You've called it.
Yeah. So, thank you for joining us this week on Bitstorm. If you want to find us online and see our other episodes, the best place to go is podchaser.com/Bitstorm. You can find all of our episodes there. You can subscribe to us on a bunch of different apps, including iTunes and Podbean and other things. Our YouTube's linked from there, our Twitter, Facebook, all the good stuff.
Another place that you can go check us out is at the AGPN. But while you're there, check everyone else out as well. The AGPN is the Australasian Gaming Podcast Network. It is an awesome group of Australian podcasters spread right across the country. Everyone tries to... And New Zealand. Everyone tries to help each other out all the time. There's no bullshit. It just... People love on everyone else's stuff. It's great. So check them out at #AGPN on Twitter, or look for the Australasian Gaming Podcast Network on Facebook. And finally, we'd like to thank us from Kuradust for the song Mount Defiance off of the album Containment Failure.
That's right. So, thank you again for joining us this week on Bitstorm. I'm Ben Slinger.
I'm Trevor Scott.
Party on, Trev.
Party on, Ben.